Camping is a beloved recreational activity worldwide. Discovering new places or camping amidst mountains and forests always offers unforgettable experiences. However, for some, this exciting activity turns terrifying when they stumble upon or encounter frightening things. In today's video, we'll uncover several chilling cases where peaceful camping trips took a nightmarish turn, and every terrifying moment was caught on camera. From a YouTuber unexpectedly camping in the same area as a mentally ill criminal and finding strange notes he left behind, to the spiritual phenomena witnessed by a man while camping near a cemetery, I will bring you all in today's video. And now, let's start the video. The owner of the YouTube channel Creepy Outdoors is known as an adventurous and exploratory person, as he mainly posts videos of exploring and camping in many scary outdoor locations, such as dense forests at night. In October 2022, this YouTuber went camping in a strange forest located in a remote place, not known to many people. When starting to watch this video, the extremely scary scene of the strange forest at night immediately made viewers feel cold. Given the creepy atmosphere in the video, many people admire the courage of this YouTuber when he ventured into such a place, because anything can happen here, such as encountering predators or even meeting ghosts. But few people expected that what Creepy Outdoors was about to encounter was even scarier than they imagined. In the video, while this YouTuber was walking around the campsite with a flashlight and commenting on the surroundings, something terrifying happened.
Oh, fuck. Oh, hi. What the hell? I need to get out of here. Oh, boy. Oh. Okay. That was fucking creepy. I need to get out of here. Oh.
As he turned off the flashlight, perhaps to show how dark the forest was without light, a woman's voice suddenly rang out and said, "I see you." What was even scarier was that the voice rang out at the exact moment this YouTuber turned off the flashlight, as if the other person had been following him for a long time and was just waiting for that moment to speak. The forest was pitch black, and at this moment, wild animals or ghosts were no longer as scary as the appearance of another human. Why was that woman in this desolate place? The forest in the video is known to be a very isolated place and campers do not often visit. Why did that person appear at that moment? Furthermore, throughout the video, because he thought he was definitely alone that night, this YouTuber made a lot of noise, as well as lit a fire and shined a light, making it easy for the woman to recognize his location. After asking but receiving no response, Creepy Outdoors immediately left the forest out of concern for his own safety. And if you pay close attention, when the voice rang out, the woman seemed to be very close, but in the area there was only a single light from the male YouTuber. It was completely dark all around, without any light, campfire, or any other light source. Was the woman standing in the dark to watch him? It could also be that it was another camper, and she had turned off all the lights and campfire to prepare for bed. But when she discovered that Creepy Outdoors was also there, the other person deliberately spoke up to scare him. Or it was the cry of some animal that was mistaken for a human voice. In the end, all the theories about the incident had holes, and no one could explain what really happened. Gary and Amika are a father and son from Scotland. They share a passion for camping and exploring nature. They regularly post videos of the beautiful scenery of the places they have visited. All the videos on their channel are usually very innocent and poetic. However, in the video posted in March 2023, the father and son had a completely creepy experience. During a trip to Tensmore Forest in Scotland, when they stopped the car at the edge of the forest, Gary and Amika heard many strange noises. As they slowly entered the forest, they made a horrifying discovery.
Look at how scary that is. Put the torch on. Whoa. He's even one on the ladders.
Oh, there's someone lying on the ground.
What about the washing line over there to the left? Yeah, there. Keep it there. That is weird, isn't it?
There's one over there that isn't actually a person.
They found a cabin isolated and silent in the middle of the forest. Around this place were a series of mannequins placed in many different poses and costumes, simulating daily life. Someone had intentionally arranged all these mannequins to create a creepy feeling for those who accidentally encountered them. As Gary and Amika got closer to the cabin, they noticed a series of strange paintings on the walls.
Whoa. It's all about ladies, that one is.
It's an old house, isn't it?
Soon, Gary noticed a car slowly approaching from a distance. Feeling uneasy, he immediately put his daughter back in the car and quickly left the area. Up to now, many people have seen this strange cabin and filmed it. Some people said that all those objects could have been erected around 2021, but no one can answer who is behind it all and what their purpose is. Jason is a YouTuber who owns a channel called Appy Mountain Truckers. Like the other YouTubers featured in today's video, Jason regularly posts videos about camping and wilderness survival. In April 2019, he posted a video recording a solo camping trip to the mountains in the area. The video begins with Jason arriving at the campsite, followed by him setting up camp and doing basic survival tasks like starting a fire or making tools. While filming, Jason said he heard strange cries coming from the top of the mountain. Since the sounds were quite far away, he thought they were just birds or small animals, so he didn't pay much attention. When night fell, Jason turned off the camera, crawled into the tent, and gradually fell asleep. However, the strange cries from earlier appeared again.
Alright guys, we'll just give you a quick update. I laid down about 9 o'clock and I was trying to go to sleep. It took me a while and I was almost asleep, and sometime before 10 I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life.
This time seeming to be getting closer to his location. Although he began to feel uneasy, since the sound was still quite far away and he trusted his survival skills, Jason decided to lie down and try to sleep again. At around 1 a.m., something unexpected happened.
About 1 o'clock, I woke up again. I heard something circle my camp. Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter.
Footsteps could be heard clearly walking on the fallen leaves, sounding very close to Jason's tent, as if something was lurking around the camp area. Jason woke up with a start, grabbed his flashlight, and went out to check. After shining the light around the camp area, he did not discover anything unusual. All around was the terrifying darkness of the mountains and forests. With no other choice, he returned to the tent and waited until morning. However, if we slow down the video when Jason went out to check, we can see a detail that he did not notice. When he pointed the flashlight at a nearby bush, eyes appeared reflecting in the darkness. It seemed that there were 2 to 3 creatures spying on Jason from the bush. Judging by the size of their eyes and the distance between them, it was likely that they were hyenas or wolves, which have eyes that glow white at night and are commonly seen in the area. Fortunately for Jason, neither hyenas nor wolves usually attack humans unless provoked or hunting in packs. In the video, there were only 2 or 3 of them, so their purpose was probably to observe and scout, not to hunt. The next morning, Jason woke up and recorded another video to share his experience. However, he did not mention the eyes in the bushes at all, as it seemed that he had not noticed their presence until then. It was only when he returned home and reviewed the video that Jason realized that something had been lurking in the dark and watching his camp all night. Rody is a fairly famous YouTuber who regularly shares videos about camping in cars. With his car, Rody has traveled all over the country, immersed himself in the beauty of nature, and recorded many memorable journeys. In December 2017, Rody posted a video recording the terrifying experience he had. In the video, while camping and sleeping overnight in the car in a deserted parking lot, Rody suddenly woke up because he heard strange noises outside. Peeking out through the window, he noticed a strange man walking around the car and using his phone to take pictures of something. Luckily, the back of the car where Rhodey was lying was very dark, so he was able to hide and quietly film this person's actions without being detected. After walking around and touching the car repeatedly to check, the man began shining a flashlight at the back of the car where Rhodey was hiding and began leaning in to look inside. At that moment, Rhodey decided to speak up to warn that someone was inside the car. He tapped on the side of the car, causing the stranger to immediately realize that someone was inside and quickly run away. It was possible that this person was a thief, trying to record the details of the car to send to his accomplices in preparation for breaking the lock. Since the back of the car was very dark, he may have thought that the car was abandoned. The owner had gone somewhere, so he chose it as a target. He walked around the car, checked it carefully, then moved closer to look inside. But right at the moment he was about to strike, Rhodey spoke up, forcing the thief to retreat. On Halloween night 2022, a YouTuber with the nickname Adventures drove his van to a forest to camp. When he drove as close to the forest as possible, he got out of the van and slowly walked into the dark forest because there was no road for the car to go any further. At the entrance of the forest, there was a church and an old cemetery that Adventures had to pass by. After finding a suitable location not far from the edge of the forest, this YouTuber stopped and slowly set up the portable stove he brought to make drinks. If you pay close attention, you will see a white shadow accidentally passing through the frame while Adventures was making drinks. The shadow moved quite quickly and lightly as if it had no legs. Adventures completely ignored this and continued working. Suddenly, there were many strange noises coming from not far away. Adventures immediately stood up and shined his flashlight towards where the noise had just come from, and what he was about to see next completely caught his attention.
I've come up to that bit where the light was just shining. What? He's moved. I'm gonna have to go and check that out.
A glowing sphere was looming in the distance between the trees. When Adventures shined his flashlight on it, he noticed that the sphere was moving. If he looked more closely, when the flashlight passed through the trees, a figure also appeared for a moment, standing silently looking towards Adventures, but he still did not notice. Slowly walking towards where the glowing sphere had appeared, the male YouTuber said that he had just seen a figure standing in the distance. Adventures immediately stopped and turned his flashlight around to observe, and this is what happened.
I'm not even joking. What the f***? I can't see anything. Oh, what was that?
The figure suddenly appeared when the flashlight shone on the space in front of him. Adventures affirmed that this was definitely a person, because he had seen the figure turn back to look at him before. Terrified, he ran straight to his car and quickly drove it to another area. When the video went viral, many conflicting opinions were given. Some people thought that the shadow he saw could be a mannequin that someone had placed in the forest as a Halloween decoration. Many others thought that the shadow, the glowing ball, and the white shadow that flashed across the video were the manifestations of supernatural forces residing in the area. Since this place is near an old church and the cemetery of the church has been used for a long time, it is not strange that supernatural phenomena occurred here. A few others thought that it was all just a setup by Adventures to create attractive content for the video. They suspected that he had intentionally created everything to attract more viewers. Up to now, Adventures has not provided any further updates on the incident. Sean is the owner of the YouTube channel Love Sundays. He often posts videos about camping in a van and has always been interested in turning vans into mobile homes for camping. In February 2024, Sean drove his van to a forest edge in England with the intention of staying there overnight. After walking around the area, Sean returned to the van, had dinner, then went to bed and slowly fell asleep. At around 3 a.m., the British YouTuber was awakened by the sound of an engine of a car approaching his location.
I was just pulled up, and it sounds like they're walking around the van.
Sean said that someone in the car got out and walked around the van. Surprised by what was happening, Sean gently opened the window curtain and looked out. The people in the strange car immediately discovered this and quickly got in the car and left. Although he was quite worried about what had just happened, Sean was too tired and believed that the car lock was very sturdy, so he slowly fell asleep again. The next morning, when he woke up and was about to step out of the car to check the weather, something strange happened.
My door's stuck. See that?
I haven't got a bulkhead.
The strangers who had appeared the night before had used plastic zip ties to lock the car doors, apparently to lock Sean inside. Since there was not enough space for the zip ties to be attached to the back and side doors, the people had missed them and Sean was able to escape through those doors. He was extremely shocked by the incident, but could not understand why the people had done this. Hikeslam is a YouTube channel that specializes in posting videos about camping. Phil, the owner of this YouTube channel, started posting videos in 2017, and through the videos on his channel, he always tries to bring to the audience all aspects of his greatest passion, camping. From sharing many useful experiences when living outdoors, to posting videos recording his own camping trips so that the audience can immerse themselves in these interesting activities. On a November evening in 2021, right before Thanksgiving, as usual, Phil packed his belongings and headed to the Appalachian Mountains, a favorite camping spot for many people. He decided to spend the night here and film his entire journey. At the beginning of the video, everything seemed to be going very normally. Phil walked on a beautiful trail that campers often go through, but when he reached a secluded area of the forest, strange things began to happen. Phil began to see a lot of trash on both sides of the trail, but these discarded items looked very special and they caught his attention.
So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat.
Some writing on some of this garbage.
Other weird things. Oh, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day.
Someone had written on empty bottles. These passages looked like song lyrics or poems. Many bottles had been written on and scattered along a long stretch of the trail. Who wrote these lines and why did that person do so? Ignoring the question, Phil continued walking and went deeper into the forest. When he got closer to the campsite, strange things happened again.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note.
This time there were a series of notes written and placed here in a very orderly manner. It seemed that they were also written by the person who wrote on the bottles. This person had arranged and inserted the notes very carefully under the rocks, as if waiting for someone to discover them. Not far away, a dead duck was also found. The duck and the notes were still fresh, suggesting that the person who left them might still be somewhere nearby. The notes contained many cryptic codes and a series of theories about government organizations and the story of the person who wrote them. Phil then discovered that someone was camping not far from where he found the strange objects, and the fire in that tent was still burning. At this point, Phil thought that the person camping on that side could be the one who created all the strange things he was encountering. He immediately turned around and went to another area because he felt unsafe staying there. Phil slowly walked back and came to a cabin, which was often used as a shelter for campers in the area. Feeling safer because it was quite far from the original location, he decided to set up camp here. Everything went normally until that evening. After dinner, Phil entered the cabin and opened his diary to kill the time. Typically, at each shelter, the forest management would leave a diary for visitors to read and add to, sharing their experiences. The first few pages were fairly standard, with people sharing their stories, experiences, and personal insights while exploring the area. But when Phil flipped to the more recent diary pages, the strange writing once again appeared.
Alright, let's see what's happened recently. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust the camera here. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here.
The handwriting on the pages was exactly the same as the handwriting on the bottles and notes that Phil had found earlier. This showed that the person who wrote them had also visited the place and written in the diary, even though Phil was more than 3 kilometers away from where he had first found the writing. Pulling the flashlight closer, Phil began to read some of the lines the other person had written.
In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail in solitary confinement, I figured the following out. This is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary.
It was clear that the person who wrote those lines was a criminal. It was unclear whether he had been released or had escaped from prison and was wandering around the forest, leaving strange notes. Based on the notes scattered throughout the forest, it could be seen that this person was having serious mental problems. In his diary, he wrote that these were the thoughts that came to him while he was in solitary confinement. And often, for prisoners in solitary confinement, their spirit and sanity would be severely affected. Phil panicked after making that discovery, but since it was too dark, leaving the forest was impossible. He decided to hide in the tent and leave at dawn. However, things were far from over.
And then I heard somebody down by the shelter. I am getting out of here. As I walked past, it did look like a single guy hanging out in the shelter. He had a headlamp on.
As Phil tried to fall asleep, he heard footsteps circling the area. He poked his head out of the tent and saw a man with a flashlight in his hand walking around the cabin. Phil immediately left the tent and some of his belongings behind and quietly slipped away in the middle of the night, as it was highly likely that the person he had just seen was the criminal who had written those strange words. Fortunately, Phil was able to get back into his car and immediately drove away from the area overnight. To this day, there have been no further updates on the incident. Since Phil posted the video to YouTube, several other campers have also admitted to seeing what appears in the video. Is the criminal still lurking in the woods? And what will he do if he gets close to other campers? This is the end of the video. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to watch more new videos. Goodbye and see you again.